Hi guys, it's April and I garden down in southeast Nebraska, zone 6A, and this is my weekly garden tour. I like to try and do these at least once a week, so I have a record of how my garden is growing and changing. I do want it to be noted that there are quite a few things that need weeded. I did not realize that when I put this much mulch down, it was going to require quite a bit of maintenance, and this week has just gotten away from me. But everything else is going wild too, which, you know what, I will take it because we are eating a lot of squash right now. I mean eggplants and zucchinis. We're probably going to be getting some of the other squash fairly soon, along with some tomatoes, but I can show you those. So as you can see, the strawberries are really starting to pop up and they're starting to send out runners. So I'm hoping all of this gets filled in, and right behind it, you can start to see hints of all of those squash plants that I've been telling you about. These are the pumpkins, which are getting partnered with the dill over there. But there is just this one over here. Something about this area, this one isn't doing so well, and I can even see some stinking roly-polies starting to go at that, which I'm not excited about. I would think at this point that plant would be the same size as that one over there, but for whatever reason it's not. Unfortunately, it might not be one of the plants that does well this year, but as you can see, oh my goodness, this is doing wonderfully. I think wrapping the stems has helped quite a bit. And I also think the fact that it's interwoven with the dill and these ground cherries. I've never had ground cherries get this tall. They usually are low and spreading for me, but these guys are just going up. The first time I grew ground cherries was about 5 years ago, or 5 seasons ago, 2021. And then 2022, I planted ground cherries again. There on out, I have never actually started ground cherries or put ground cherries in the ground. They've just all volunteered themselves, and these guys are freaking massive. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that many ground cherries. I guess I could make a barbecue sauce. That might be good. I still have ground cherry jelly from, I don't even remember when I canned that, but we're still trying to go through that. So we don't need any more of that. And I don't tend to eat them fresh. My husband will, but I'm not a huge fan of them, if I'm honest. I like to add sugar and sweeten it up a little bit more. So if you have any ideas of what to do with ground cherries, I'm gonna need some ideas. Can you make ground cherries into a pie filling? Would that be weird? So yeah, I need to figure out what to do with ground cherries, but we do have this exciting new addition over here. We've got a candy roaster that is starting to form. So I'll have to keep my eye on that because I do know there is at least one strand of this right here. Yeah, you can kind of see it right here. That I should probably come in and just pull out because it is dying. Maybe I'll just clip it back, or I'll leave it for the pests to focus on that one and not on all these healthy branches. It is a jungle in there. How awesome is that? I love it. Let's go over to the beds next. Oh, but before I do that, I usually don't show the pots very often because not a lot has changed. Still keeping an eye on them. Haven't seen a lot of fruit, but this plant right here is a Pippin's Golden Honey, and I've got another plant just like it in the beds, and both of them have given me the first peppers of the season. They weren't very big, they were a little stunted. These are supposed to be long, small peppers, and the ones that have ripened so far were a little squatty, but I think that's just because of how hot and dry our springs were. Now that we're starting to get a decent amount of rain, these are starting to look really good. Okay, now back to our regularly scheduled program. As you can see here, I do have a couple of carrots that are bolting. I think I need to come and pull those out because those are going to be no good to me. Or I can leave them, the pollinators will love it. I might leave it. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. What would you do? This is going to be the episode in which I just ramble nonsensically. Would you leave the bolting carrot or not? But you can see this is really filling in quite aggressively. And we have so many eggplants that I need to come harvest. Definitely that one for sure. But we're gonna have a bumper crop. And of course, I've got that piece of grass I need to pull. That grass has been so aggressive this year, but that's okay. I'll come back and I'll pull that later. I haven't seen any fruit on that tomato plant. And I have started pulling some of this garlic. I'm kind of excited to see how big that one's gonna be because the stalk is so massive. Because I mean, look at that. A lot of the ones that I've already pulled already were a little smaller, but not aggressively small. And I have started using them in cooking, and I am doing some ferments with them. So what little I have, I am using. You can see some of the squash forming in there. They're kind of twisting around each other in some weird ways. Not sure why, but they still taste good. And here, I am starting to see some fruit starting to form, which is exciting. This, I believe, is the Saucy Lady. It might be my first Roma, though in years past, it has been this one right here. This is the Midnight Roma. So we'll see which one happens first. This bed looks a little bit sad. I pulled nearly all of the garlic that was in here, and so at this point it is all of the onions. I've not had time to come and pull all of these out and process them, but that may be happening soon. Otherwise, we've got the tomato plants, which every now and then I spot a fruit. But nothing ripe yet. This is probably going to be the latest I have gone waiting for a fruit, because usually by now one of my cherry plants has started to produce, but not this year. But we'll see. I did want to show you this. First of all of those back there are bird seeds. I need to come through and just pull all of those out. But I did get my stepping stones in, so now you can kind of see that path I was talking about. I wanted it both so I could get back to the bird feeder, and so that when I get the kiwi plant that I plant right here, I can harvest. And then everything on the other side can be just a mass of flowers. I do have some of the zinnias that I started late that I want to plant out in here soon. If not today, tomorrow. So that will hopefully start filling in. And sadly, it doesn't look the greatest today because I have been fighting some nasty caterpillars. You can see them right here. I keep coming through and then blasting them off with water, but it doesn't seem to be helping a whole lot. But this had been in full bloom. It's since dying back. But this one looks like it's gonna open soon if the caterpillars don't just decimate this plant. They've already started taking out the other sunflower plant. You can just see them just munching away. Little jerks. So I'm not 100% sure how to deal with those. But the sunflower blooms are very pretty. And I do have another round of sunflowers started, so hopefully, since it'll be later in the season, these guys won't come back and take them out. If we come back over here, you can start to see the mess of squash that I'm about to come show you. But I did want to show you the rest of the tomato plants. They've gone a little wild because, let's be honest, I don't do well with warm temperatures. So I haven't pruned them back the way I should. We're just gonna see what happens. But I do need to use some of this lemon balm. She's getting wild. Okay, let's go see the other squash. It just makes me so happy. It's so overwhelmed over here. And part of me is afraid that I'm going to lose some of the possible pepper harvest. But I can't be mad at it. It's so pretty. Somewhere in there is zucchinis and peppers and onions, and there's a cucumber plant and some runner beans. But you have to go digging for it. It's like a treasure hunt. And we do have some kind of butternut starting to form there. But it's from a plant that has just crawled through the tomatoes and this one lone eggplant that I think may just get smothered out. And my bunching onions. I mean, oops. See if we can get in there. You can see that gorgeous blossom right there. But I do seem to have a plant that might be dying that I might have to pull out, which is fine. It's why I so aggressively planted so many. But I am still getting some peppers. You can see that forming. This is the other honey nut, or not the honey nut, Pippin's golden honey. Getting everything confused. So that's something to watch. And I'm sure there are other, let's see. Yeah. Can you see it? That's some kind of squash. It's a hybrid of some kind. I can't quite remember what it is. But it's almost to the point, it's nearly impossible to walk through here. Wondering if I should take you around the other way. You definitely can't walk through here. You have to go all the way around this bed. Which, you know what, I'm okay with. I was kind of hoping it would happen. Ooh, we have some more tomatoes forming over here. Oh, we have lots of tomatoes forming. What are you? You're the chocolate sparkles? Or sprinkles? Can't quite remember which of the varieties you are. And the tag got buried, so all you can read is chocolate. But back to this bed. We've got a little bit of dieback, but that's to be expected, especially with the amount of grasshoppers I have seen this year. Oh, look at that, you've got a blossom poking up through one of the leaves. Okay. I don't know, I just wanted to show it to you from this angle. It is sprawling both directions. I did not think these guys would be this aggressive, but I might have to come through and save some of these pepper plants, because these are my sweet peppers and I do not, oh, I'm sorry, I just got so distracted. I want to preface what I am about to show you with the fact that I harvested zucchinis not yesterday, but the day before, and thought I had grabbed all the ones that were ready. Apparently, I missed a few because what I am about to show you is a little bit chaotic, okay? Please don't judge me too hard. Do you see that? Do you see both of those? Okay, so the one in front is about the size of which I want to harvest them. The one behind them is about twice the size. It's about the size of my, oh my gosh. Well, I think there might be zucchini bread in my future. I'm gonna need to harvest that. Hold on, let me get the clippers. That's the thing about zucchinis. If you don't keep an eye on them, they grow faster than you expect. Can I even get at this one? Oh gosh. Yeah, that's silly. Okay, what were we talking about again? Peppers. These are the hot peppers. You can see we've got some jalapenos that are really starting, and behind it we have the poblanos. And it looks like my cilantro is going to give me some coriander. So I'm excited about that. So yes, I did just chaos plant everything and just hope for the best. So here we are, hoping for the best. Let's go to beside the deck. Okay, here I have stopped fighting the basil and I'm just letting it flower. The pollinators love it, so why not? These tomato plants have absolutely never been pruned. I'm sort of regretting that decision, but at this point there's not much I can do about it besides maybe come through and do a hard cut back. But I'm not sure I want to do that. Guess we'll see what happens. I did show you the beets last time, and they're still trying to head up, so I'm leaving those there. And the peas are definitely dying back. But here is where we planted all of those beans. So they have all started coming up, and the bigger leaves back there are my runner beans that I want to climb up and over the peas that are dying back. And behind it you can see my second row of, or my second planting of lettuce. So this is filling back in as we can see what are supposed to be bush beans trying to crawl over this way, which I don't really appreciate. For bush beans, they're sending out a lot of tendrils. I'm a little concerned about the pepper plant and the tomato plant back there, But it is interesting that that pepper plant is nearly the same size as that dwarf tomato plant. I think there is a lot of nitrogen in this bed, which, okay, that's fine. Well, we'll see what kind of fruits they produce, but the leaves on that tomato plant are looking really, really good. Behind it, you can see the spinach bed. I pulled out that front spinach, and now it's just a lot of baby spinach coming up. I left that back spinach plant, but my guess is in the next couple days I'll have to pull that out. But I do have more spinach coming up right here. I've got this angel hair spaghetti squash that I need to train to come over the bed and not into my runner beans back there. And I have a few runner beans that I need to make sure are reaching for the trellis and not the opposite direction. I don't think any of the okra that I planted here is going to come up. So I think I'm going to have to do another round of okra seeding, which it's happened to me in the past several times, and I've still gotten plenty of okra. But here you can see the peach tree, keeping my eye on this peach. And once again, we've got these strawberries that are sending out runners everywhere. This is where I did some okra seeds as well, and they're not coming up, so I might try there as well. And then you have the blueberry plants. And that is pretty much the garden. She's starting to go wild, and I need to weed, but here we are. July usually starts the season in which I am either trying to preserve what I'm getting from the harvest, or I am trying to keep up with what I don't want growing in the garden and trimming back the tomato plants. So we'll see what kind of wins out this year. I'm just one person, and I try to keep up with it as much as I can. And yet, I still keep adding garden beds. I don't know. The logic is a little wonky, but bear with me. I will say it is a little humid out here because it did rain this morning, and I'm guessing it's going to continue to sprinkle on and off throughout the day. So it would be a really good time to plant out the zinnias that I was telling you about. If I do that, yeah, I think today might be a good day to do that. I might do that later. Otherwise, if you want to continue to follow and see how my garden continues to grow, like I said, I try to do this every week so that I can go back and look at the garden and see what it used to look like. Feel free to subscribe down below, hit the bell, do all the things to get all of the notifications. I do also like to post things over on Instagram and Threads. There, it's usually whatever I'm harvesting at the time or what I'm preserving, especially if it looks really pretty. I like to post those over there, and that usually happens before I show my weekly garden tours. So you can see that over there, but I am going to go in, I'm going to hydrate, I'm going to edit this video, and I do hope I will see you guys again in another video. I heart you beautiful faces. Bye.